Dare to show me a single soul that Rickles wouldn't make fun of, and I will show you a liar. Whether you're Jew, Catholic, black, white, the president, or even his closest companion, without any hesitation, everybody knows that Don doesn't give a fuck. Comedians like Dave Chappelle are getting cancelled. If Don was to perform now, surely he would deserve no less than the death penalty. But how does Don get away with this? Why does he get a pass when Lenny Bruce got arrested? What makes him different from Carlin, who had to battle in court? Comedy Kings Network.
Mr. Don Rickles. Be funny.
First black kid I ever saw that'll definitely never play basketball.
I asked you, huh? 40 million stars. I get a little kid out here, doesn't know what time it is, and brings me out, and you're standing here with the band with the same cockamamie music. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Try to learn it. The president's here. This is a big shot for me. Last night we had Bush. Well, I'll tell you this. He was great. Did you see him and the wife after the show? He was in the lobby going, nobody knows me.
Speaking about battles, just like Richard Pryor and George Carlin, Don served this country in the U.S. Army. Carlson, Pryor, Carlin, and even Rickles. At this rate, you might start to think that maybe the U.S. Army is a prerequisite for true GOAT status in the comedy industry. Don joined the U.S. Navy during the Second World War when he was just 18 years. These years will become very significant throughout his life, and to those who know Don, this will not be a surprise at all, as he will constantly reference them on his performances. His brief military years shaped his character, which astonishes many since his personality doesn't in any way reflect the military type. Rickles tells a funny story of how he joined the U.S. Navy. He said when he enlisted, he signed to be an entertainer and he wanted to start a band. The officer agreed and sent him on his merry way. To his surprise, when he got to the battlefield, he was given a gun, and when he tried to say a word, all they said is, "Keep firing." Another comedian who joined the U.S. Navy is the one and only iconic television host, Johnny Carson, infamous for hosting The Tonight Show, which featured Don on a considerable number of episodes. Though Rickles describes Carlson as a loner, he was one of the few who became close to him. Speaking of great friendship, we cannot dare talk about Don without mentioning the legendary Frank Sinatra, an icon known to be the greatest American singer of the 20th century. Saying Sinatra had a close relationship with Don is an understatement. Even a blind person could see the intimacy in their relationship. Nonetheless, this didn't stop Rickles from tearing him limb to limb. He would make fun of him in any way possible, even more than he normally does to others. Rickles describes Frank Sinatra's persona as that of a Greek god, comparable to Zeus himself. He says Sinatra had a presence that will turn a room dead silent as he walked in, immensely soundless that you could even hear a pin drop, as they intensely await for him to mutter his first words. Speaking of great presence, Rickles tells a story about Joe Gallo, an Italian-American mobster known as Crazy Joe. During Don's usual stand-up performance, Gallo was in the audience, holding a front seat. Don was warned not to make fun of the mobster, as things will end bad for him. But Rickles knew no boundaries. He wasn't one to shy away from danger. He stared exactly at Gallo's eyes and unleashed his wrath. However, Don's real superpower is the ability to get away with everything. At the drop of a hat, Gallo liked the performance and later invited him to a restaurant. Nevertheless, this wasn't the most astonishing part, as Gallo was shot dead in that same night at that same restaurant. But Don's luck never ran out, as for some reason he denied the invitation to that restaurant. It is very intuitive to think that with his insult comedy that knew no boundaries, Don would have a hard time making friends. However, that can be far from the truth, as Don's unique style drew people closer and closer to him the more he made fun of them. His pool of comrades grew still. He was an icon amongst icons. This was most definitely apparent during his 80th birthday, where he was honored by greats such as Jerry Seinfeld, Robert De Niro, Johnny Depp, Tracy Morgan, and other stars at the London Apollo Theatre. Before we continue, please give us a thumbs up, as it helps us create more awesome videos like this.
Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, my ass, you're a Jap. I'll tell you this. 3 years in the jungle looking for your uncle. I'll tell you this. Walking around going, oh. No, I kid you, we're all brothers. God bless you, my friend. What is your first name? Joe? Joe, my ass, Joe. During World War II, they were all Joe. You're a Jew, you gotta be. With that nose, if you're not, you're an eagle. I'll tell you this. Look at the nose on this. As you're breathing, my socks are coming up. I'll tell you this, though. Enjoy, laugh at people. Why do I laugh at Whoopi and Robin and Billy? Why? Because they get on my goddamn nerves. I swear to God, and Billy especially, you know, I don't know Robin that well. I know Billy. He keeps walking around saying, how do I look? Do I look good? You give him a cookie and he goes away. He's a real pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. Anyway, look at the black brother laughing his ass off. Meanwhile, your partner's up in my room taking my jewelry. I'll tell you this.
Moving on from his greatness off stage to his greatness in front of the audience, Don's style of comedy is the one and only thing that makes him truly awesome. He wasn't ahead nor too late for his time. His emphasis, deliverance, and careful selection of material couldn't be any more ideal for the 20th century. However, if he was even a decade earlier or late, we would have never heard the name Don Rickles. Speaking about the name Don Rickles, in an industry filled with a vast amount of comedians, Don's name stands out like a red dot on a white cloth. His comedy was controversial, risky, unique, and unprecedented, but somehow him and only him knew how to make it work. He demonstrated his thirst for danger when he did what he did best on Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Billy Graham, and even the Queen of England. This is surely the epitome of true insult comedy. Other insults happen when the audience try to embarrass the comedian, shouting out jokes as he performs. In contrast to many comedians who avoid their hecklers, Don would go the complete opposite way, staring down exactly at their eyes, and in a few words, he will show them why he is the real comedy king. And never has he ever not have a response for a heckler. In fact, it is most definitely arguable that this was part of his art, which makes it ironical, since something that destroys other comedians' whole performances would make Rickles complete. And more on completeness, Don was not only a stand-up comic, but also a terrific actor, says Larry King. He starred in Run Silent, Run Deep with Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster. But who could ever forget his performance on the iconic 1995 classic Casino, directed by none other than Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. However, his children believe that his most iconic moments were for his role as Mr. Potato Head in the Toy Story. Moreover, the director of Toy Story 4, Josh Cooley, dug through 25 years of audio recording to include Rickles' voice. To add sugar on cake, he also had his own TV show, The Don Rickles Show. Nonetheless, He also wrote 2 books entitled Rickles Book and another called Rickles Letters. Showbiz became like a cult in Rickles' family. He had 2 children, Larry and Mandy Rickles. His son won an Emmy Award in 2008 for his work on a documentary about Don entitled Mr. Ref, the Don Rickles Project. On the other hand, his daughter became an actress and also did stand-up, appearing in shows such as The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. Rickles died in 2017 at the age of 90, leaving a footprint like no other. And the world witnessed as every well-known comedian paid respect to him. Larry King, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert, just to mention a few.